Hello, my name is Erica Shea, and you are tuned into Slay, where each week you and I turn our attention inward and reflect on ideas intended to help move you into a state of inspiration and empower you to take decisive, proactive action toward achieving your goals and reaching your highest potential. Today, we are talking about limiting exposure, a powerful practice that empowers us to prioritize self care and the visions we have in our hearts, the visions that we have for our lives. If you are someone who consistently finds yourself feeling drained, overwhelmed, or maybe just inadequate, and you're ready to take control of your life experiences to ensure you're investing your time and energy in a way that positively serves and grows you, then this episode is for you. Let's get into it. Imagine, if you will, waking up with a heavy weight on your chest. The day hasn't even started, but you're already pressed with a sense of dread, reflecting on all the upcoming events, contemplating on an infinite list of to-dos that seem to move you no closer to the life that you thought you would be living by now. Emptiness just washes over you. Doubt and self-criticism flood your mind, making it difficult to find the motivation to face the day. Throughout the day, you navigate what feels like just a sea of unfulfilling tasks and responsibilities that just drain your energy and enthusiasm. The weight of missed opportunities and unmet expectations grow heavier with each passing moment. It feels as if you're stuck in a never ending cycle of mediocrity, unable to break free and create the life that you truly desire. Scrolling through your social feeds, you are bombarded with these curated images of success or happy relationships, and you can't help but feel like you're falling short. You find yourself questioning your worth, your abilities, and whether you will ever be able to manifest the life that you dream about. To make matters worse, your work environment, where you spend most of your time, just makes the gap between where you are and where you want to be feel insurmountable. The gossip, backstabbing, and lack of support there has eroded your confidence and sense of belonging, leaving you feeling undervalued, unappreciated, and altogether defeated and hopeless. If this has ever been you, or maybe it's you right now, I want to let you know that you're not alone. I want to remind you that low moments like these, they can serve as powerful catalysts for change. They're moments where we're hyper aware of what we don't want, what isn't working or serving us, and we're really aware that something in our lives has to shift. They serve as just this solid foundation upon which we can rebuild and start to rewrite the narrative of our lives. Moments that propel us towards transformation, expansion, and a life of purpose and fulfillment. But we have to be just especially mindful in these moments because one of two things can happen. We can either recognize what is and do absolutely nothing to change our circumstances, or we can recognize what is and determine to go about making these radical changes to influence and shape our daily lives positively. And the most surefire way of embarking on that path is through the practice of limiting or minimizing our exposure to anything that we have already determined is locking up our valuable internal resources, okay? Our energy, our attention. It is a decision that can help us begin each day with a renewed sense of purpose and determination, one that is attuned with what aligns with our higher selves and that higher vision that we have for our lives. You see, when we are constantly exposed to negativity, whether through media, relationships, or our environment, our propensity for generating doubt, fear, and limiting beliefs increases, all of which hinder the manifestation process. So, by limiting exposure to negativity or that which doesn't align with our values, we're able to maintain a positive and aligned energy that is conducive to us attracting our desires. Think of how distracting and overwhelming negative influences can be. how difficult they can make it to stay focused on our goals and desires, how they can cloud our vision and make it challenging to stay committed to what it is we are actually trying to manifest in our lives. By limiting exposure, we're better able to create space for clarity, which allows us to better define our desires and focus our energy on manifesting them. Think of how negative influences can erode our self-belief and how they can reinforce limiting beliefs that really they don't do anything but limit us. By limiting exposure, we can protect our self-confidence. We can cultivate a mindset that supports our manifestation efforts and allows us to maintain unwavering faith in our ability to attract and to create. When we limit exposure, we free up space for more abundance to enter our lives and for possibilities to thrive. So, with all that said, I ask you, are you satisfied with the current conditions of your life? If the answer is no, and you are determined to create positive change, I invite you to reflect on a few areas with me for a moment to help you focus your efforts. We'll start with your emotional well-being. Do you feel yourself just feeling drained or anxious or upset after interacting with certain people or being in certain environments? It may be a sign that they are negatively impacting your well-being. So pay attention to how you feel before, during, and after interactions. This could be an area where limiting exposure could be beneficial. What about your relationships? Let's reflect there. Whether personal or professional, are there any that are constantly negative, abusive, or unhealthy? This could be a key area where limiting exposure could really serve you. A decision that can include setting boundaries or, in extreme cases, just cutting off contact. Now, think about all of your current responsibilities, commitments, or demands. Are any overwhelming you? Limiting exposure to certain activities or obligations could potentially benefit your well-being and success overall. So assess your priorities and consider reducing or eliminating tasks that are not essential or that do not align with your values or goals. Reflect on the content that you engage with, like on social media or in the news. Is there a theme that consistently triggers negative emotions or feelings of inadequacy? It may be time to limit exposure to those sources by reducing screen time or unfollowing certain accounts. How about your self-care game? Are you neglecting any activities or struggling to prioritize your own well-being due to external demands or influences? If so, consider what boundaries you could set to help you make self-care a non-negotiable priority. By taking time to reflect on your needs, values, and priorities in this way and understanding what activities, relationships, or situations drain your energy or negatively impact your well-being, you equip yourself with the knowledge and self-awareness needed to set boundaries and make decisions that you can feel good about. It deepens your self-trust and ability to commit to the process with faith and determination because only you know what you need, and this is going to help you create a roadmap to get going. I know this firsthand because it's a decision that transformed not only my life, but my perception of myself. No longer am I a victim of my anxiety. I have actively curbed it. No longer am I obsessing about what others think of me. I instead am able to focus on what I can be doing to fuel more thoughts of positivity within me, about me, and just toward my life. For once, my self-esteem feels stable and independent of what others may think. I feel in control. No longer am I a victim of my circumstances. I am influencing them and creating outcomes that support me. But it's something that all started with limiting my exposure. So it's like I got more, but it started with really cutting off a lot and what seems like restricting a lot of things in my life. But it's something that I want and I wish for everyone to experience because the reward is so great. So, with that, I will ask you again, how satisfied are you with the current conditions of your life? If you wouldn't give yourself a 10 out of 10, consider the practice of limiting your exposure in the ways in which we discussed. See if it doesn't cause a boost in your energy or an increase in enthusiasm towards your daily life. All right. See if it doesn't reduce feelings of stress and overwhelm and equip you with a greater ability to just handle challenges with resilience. See if your sense of fulfillment doesn't increase from prioritizing activities and relationships that genuinely align with your values and that bring you joy. See if your mental and emotional health doesn't improve from having prioritized self care practices. See if your focus and productivity don't increase from limiting exposure to distractions and activities that just drain your energy and redirecting attention and effort towards tasks and goals that truly matter to you. See if your productivity doesn't just like shoot through the roof. See if your relationships don't feel more authentic, supportive, and mutually beneficial. As always, I can say all of these things, but it's up to you to take matters into your own hands and bridge the gap between like theory and just real world application. So I invite you to just see, all right? Know that life circumstances and priorities are subject to change. So, with that in mind, if you do decide to adopt this practice, remember that what you limit exposure to may have to change, meaning give yourself permission to make adjustments and refine your approach here to just ensure that all of your decisions align with your ever evolving needs. Stay committed to your intentions and vision, even when results aren't really just manifesting yet, like where they don't feel immediate. Remember that personal growth is not a linear path. It's normal to experience ups and downs, and real significant change, it takes time. All right. Recognize that feelings of guilt or fear, those are things that may arise, especially when we're setting boundaries and limiting exposure, but understand that prioritizing your well being is not selfish. It is absolutely necessary for your overall health. All right. Practice self compassion and remind yourself that taking care of yourself is what allows you to show up fully for others in a healthier and more sustainable way. Celebrate the small victories and milestones, no matter how insignificant they seem. Recognize that each step forward, no matter how small, is a testament to your resilience and to your commitment to your personal growth and vision. Okay? Above all, be patient with yourself. Trust that the changes that you are making are laying the foundation for a better future. Believe in your ability to create the life you desire and then apply pressure. If you enjoyed this episode and know someone who could benefit from today's message or any of the content we discuss, be sure to share it with them. As always, I thank you for tuning in. Until next time, continue to show up for yourself in a major way.